Record to cloud. There we go. Ready to go.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. So we're delighted to bring you back to Africa and to probably please everyone from South Africa and Kenya, close your ears, but my favoritist country in Africa, Zimbabwe, because I really do think it offers a lot to clients that are traveling. The safari, the wildlife, the friendliness of the people, you know, the paintings, the food is really good and fresh. You know, those big smiles, the welcome. There's so many things, the national parks, you know, the rivers, the boat cruises, everything, just something for everyone. So we're delighted to be back, and we're going to show a video which sort of encapsulates a bit of the travel that I did when I was there in November and December. At the moment, we're getting so many inquiries for Africa. And we're getting a lot of inquiries for single ladies as well. So, you know, we've put together some itineraries for, you know, solo travelers, etc. So for families, couples, solo travelers, honeymoons, you know, there's something for everyone. So I am going to get Gio to video, which just sort of reminds everyone, you know, of what's in Zimbabwe, especially on the western side, because a lot of the properties are open on the western side, or at least were open until the recent lockdown again. And then we're going to pass over to Luke and Suzanne from Vayeni, and they're going to tell us a bit more as well about travel and also the family travel, which I didn't mention. So Gio, over to you.
Hi, welcome to Zimbabwe. Welcome to Zimbabwe. Why you have left Vayeni National Park. So meet Travolta, my driver guide, who's taking me everywhere and telling me everything I need to know. So we've just been down in Amalinda in the Matopas. We did lots and lots of things. So first of all, we went to see the cave paintings that are 3,000, 10,000 years old, climbed to the top of mountains, like quite strenuous hiking, but really, really fun. And lots of cycling around, going to see the traditional villages and meeting a lady. Home, so she has a painted hut, and we were looking at that. Then we went up to the top of the Matopas to see where Cecil John Rhodes was buried, and heard a lot about the recent history. And then very interested. Their first Prime Minister, he definitely has to have Irish roots. And what's funny about him, he was against power, big industry, etc. So he was that bit more a man of the people. But he told that Zimbabwe was a separate entity, the province of South Africa. So in a way, he paved the way for Zimbabwe to become a successful, independent country that it is today. The one thing that you see again and again is that beautiful Zimbabwean smile when you're traveling all over Zimbabwe. Travolta, on cue, smile. And so we're really excited. Was there anything else I missed? Oh, the rhino trekking. We did amazing rhino trekking. We were out in the bush, rhino trekking by foot, and we saw lots of white rhinos. So we were doing, walking up behind them, getting quite close, which was amazing. So if you're into rhino, if you want to go rhino trekking on foot with the rangers and their guns, you have to come. We will let you know what Hawaii is all about when we finish there. Bye.
There was a bit of a problem there with the echo. And I think the echo is still. We just have to see who's.
Your computer.
Someone's computer, the sound must be on as well. But so it was an amazing trip. That was back in November, beginning of December, and there was fantastic things. So Adams and Butler hooked up with Luke and Suzanne in Vayeni, and we did fantastic, visits throughout the countryside. It really was brilliant. So now we're going to pass over to Suzanne and Vayeni, and Luke in Vayeni.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining in from around the world. Fantastic to see so many people from different corners of the globe and different time zones. Really great to welcome you here. My name is Luke, and this is my beautiful wife, Suzanne. Together we run Vayeni, and we hosted Siobhan on her trip, as she mentioned, in November, December last year. It was wonderful to take her around the country. We are seated about 200 meters from the Zambezi River and about 4.5 kilometers upstream from Victoria Falls. We're very lucky to have a beautiful wild space around us, frequented by many animals, and a little bit more hazardous. In this pond behind us, we've had to let some of the water out because we've had 3 crocodiles decide to make it home. Far too many fish in there. I think we need to change that, otherwise the crocs could get out of control. But I just want to share very simply a map of Zimbabwe with you. Some of you who were on the last webinar will know that we did this as well then, but you know, it's quite nice to just give you some perspective for those of you that need reminding about Zimbabwe. It's a landlocked country. It's roughly the same size as California or Japan. And this is where Victoria Falls is, which is where we're situated. Siobhan mentioned that the western and northern part of the country are the parts that are most frequented by tourists. So roughly this section here and this section here. However, that is not to say that Zimbabwe doesn't have some other incredible areas. And our personal favorite national park is down in the bottom corner here, Gorge. And you're going to be hearing a little bit more about that from one of the suppliers who's on this call a little bit later. Lake Kariba, when it was built in 1958, was the biggest man-made lake in the world. It's about 230 kilometers in length and 70 kilometers wide in its widest point. Vayeni National Park is our biggest national park. You're looking at least 200 kilometers in length and almost as much in width. Gorge, I mentioned earlier, is our second biggest national park. We've got Matetsi in here. Sharon's going to be coming on and talking a bit more about that. Incredible national park with a lot of history culturally, as well as home to black and white rhinos. We've got Great Zimbabwe, which is an historical ancient city, which is a beautiful area to visit if you enjoy history, especially African history. Harare is the capital city, a bustling, vibrant city, very colorful, lots to see. Bulawayo is the second biggest city in the country. This area of the country is known as Mashonaland, and the bottom part of the country is known as Matabeleland. Mashonaland derived from the Shona speaking people. That is the most widely spoken language in the country. And Matabeleland is the Matabele people, and Ndebele is the second widest spoken language in the country. English is the official language for business, and Zimbabwe has a literacy rate well in excess of 90%, a very, very well educated populace. And so when you're in Zimbabwe, it's not difficult to engage in amazing conversation, very well educated people. Along the eastern border of the country here, we have the Eastern Highlands, contrasting quite sharply with other parts of the country, which are much more low-lying areas. This is not a typical safari area. However, it is reminiscent, I would say, of Scottish Highlands, freshwater streams and waterfalls. It is really a beautiful part of the country, and certainly one to consider should you want to explore the country in further detail. Obviously, the title of this presentation is Zimbabwe, a truly one-stop destination, and that is very, very true. There are multiple things to see inside the country. We're probably the most diverse country in Southern Africa. I'm sure some South Africans who might be on this call would beg to differ with me because they have the ocean, but what you pack into quite a small space is very diverse. So I've run through part of the country. I'll just quickly go through it again for you. So Victoria Falls up here, that's probably our most famous icon. It's one of the natural world wonders. It's the largest falling curtain of water in the world, and I promise you it is not running dry. This year we have had unprecedented rainfall already, and last year was a 10-year high coming over of water coming over the falls, and this year measurements along the Zambezi show that we're 3 times as high as we were last year. So we're expecting huge flows over the falls. Vayeni National Park, very, very typical savanna landscape interspersed with rainforest, not with rainforest, with woodlands, teak woodlands in particular. A lot of water holes, huge herds of elephant and buffalo gathering around these water holes, and obviously home to 4 out of the big 5. The only one of the big 5 is rhino, not in Vayeni National Park. Then Gorge, home to all of the big 5, contrasting sharply in terms of its landscape with Vayeni National Park. More variable, more undulating landscape, different trees, a lot of locally endemic species that you find there, and it joins in with this national park in Mozambique, as well as the top of Kruger National Park, to form the Limpopo Transfrontier Conservation Area. And then up in the top part here, I've talked a little bit about Lake Kariba. You've also got the Lower Zambezi area, which it's called the Lower Zambezi on the Zambian side. On the Zimbabwean side, it's most well known as the Mana Pools area. Phenomenal, again, totally different to Gorge and Vayeni National Parks. Everything is kind of centered along being in a valley surrounded by escarpments. And the river, the Zambezi River, is very wide here. It's up to 1.5 kilometers in width. Beautiful photographic pictures, huge acacia albida trees growing on the edge of the Zambezi. Elephants in this area are known to stand on their back legs and reach up as far as they can to pluck down the pods which grow on the trees, which I think are a little bit like sweets for them. So that gives you a quick overview of the country, what's on offer, how it's so diverse, and we can talk more about it as I'm sure you will be bringing lots of questions up, and we'll talk more about it as we go on, but I don't want to take up too much time, and so I'm going to cross over back to Siobhan and then on to our next speaker.
And Luke and Suzanne, one thing we're trying to get across, and I think it came out when I visited this time as well, is that Zimbabwe is very much a standalone destination. It should not be an add-on of 3 days or whatever to do the Vic Falls. It's absolutely, like, there's so much on offer, as you said. Like, even when we were talking, when you were saying that, you know, when you were a child, you would have gone on the houseboats, etc. It's something that we need to encourage clients when they visit. So how many days do you think, if someone were to do it properly, how many days do you think they need? Because the other thing is, like, when you're talking about Gorge as well in the south, it's very much like sort of Ruaha or somewhere in Tanzania, that it's not known, but it's like a hidden gem that people should discover, even first-time visitors to Africa. So how long do you think a person should spend if they were going to do Zimbabwe properly?
Siobhan, you know, I mean, I know not everybody has huge amounts of time to travel, but I would say that you would need at an absolute minimum 10 days, but preferably 2 weeks, to get around the parks and to see everything. You need at least 3 days, minimum 3 days in the safari destinations. You could potentially get away with 3 nights in Victoria Falls or 2 nights at an absolute push. But you'd have to have 3 nights in Vayeni, 2 to 3 nights in the Matopos Bulawayo area, 3 nights in Gorge for sure, 3 nights Mana Pools, and 2 nights in Kariba. And then, you know, that's still, we haven't even touched the Eastern Highlands yet, or any of the cities. So you can see, and all of those destinations are so different from each other. Zimbabwe lends itself to fly-in safaris, but also to chauffeur-driven trips around the country, as well as self-drives. All of that is possible. It's a very safe country to navigate. The beauty with it being quite compact and so diverse is that you can get between destinations by road within 3 to 4 hours. You're in a new destination, which means that you're not having to get too tired whilst you're moving around. Hopefully that explains it.
Brilliant. And then the other thing as well is, for those people who want to just spend a week, they could actually do the western part of it, or they could fly into Bulawayo and do the southeast and do the Great Zimbabwe if necessary, and Guanajuato, etc. What do you think? Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
divided into a week. Yeah.
I mean, that's right. If you just had a week, you could choose to do sort of a northern circuit, if you like, which would be Victoria Falls, Vayeni National Park, Mana Pools, and Kariba. Or you could do the western circuit, which is Victoria Falls, Vayeni National Park, Matopus, and hopefully we could bring in Gorge there as well.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And just to recap for people as well, you saw me in the car, and the reason we showed that video is the roads are amazing, probably the best roads of any African country. Fantastic roads, like going through through Zimbabwe, and then the connection with the plains very good, because as well as Vic Falls, Livingston, Bulawayo, Harare, there's so many options there. So Giovanna, should we go over to Matetsi?
Just before we do, I have 2 short little videos of Luke and his kids that you think you guys took when you traveled last year.
Hey, Teddy? Yes. Yeah, Teddy. Let's Teddy. You can have my other sunglasses I have.
Great. So just to show that, safaris are very child friendly and activity that you can do with your kids.
And there's also affordable properties as well as, the luxury 5-star properties as well.
Brilliant. So I think we're going over to Sarah now, please.
Hi, how's it going? Huge thanks to Siobhan and the Vayeni team for organizing this and spotlight Zimbabwe as a destination. It's really great to be here. I'm Sarah. I'm part of the family that owns Matetsi Victoria Falls, and I'm also joined today by our GM, Jono. He might have just dropped out. I'm conscious that the light is going, so what I want to do, okay, I was going to light my other.
I've got 2 short little videos. Would you like me to show them first?
Let me just try and, how do I, there's a video called, a person on here called Matetsi Victoria Falls. Could you spotlight that one? It's my phone. And then I'll take a walk around to show the light just before.
Yeah, I just need to make a co-host first. And there we go.
There's that echo again, Gio, just to be careful of that. So Jamie, can you spotlight Matetsi?
Brilliant. Can you see me here?
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right?
Perfectly. And it looks amazing.
Okay, great. Let me just take a little walk around while we've got a little bit of light. We are very fortunate to have some guests in house. I've excused myself, so we'll have them in the distance. Just wanted to show you guys the beautiful Zambezi River. So this is where we are on the banks of the Zambezi. We're about 40 kilometers upstream from Victoria Falls itself. And this is our beautiful property. I'm in the Western guest area here. We've got our copper bar, seating area, and then down this way is our dining area and interactive kitchen. So that's just and Duncan was here 3 weeks ago. It was brilliant to have you here, Duncan. And I'm just going to place myself down here. And then if Jono is on, we'll spotlight Jono, our GM, who took a drive out to the bush. Jono, are you there?
He was
we lost him
earlier, but
I can't see him now. No worries. So let's show one of our videos, just to put everything in context. But essentially, Matetsi Victoria Falls offers a combination of safari, the river, relaxation, and the beautiful Victoria Falls itself. So let's have a look at one of our videos.
How long are you from?
It's just a short little video there.
So that gives a really nice overview. I've messaged Jono to see if he can jump in again. But in the meantime, we have our senior guide, Orpheus, who's talking about more of the conservation side of things. So Matetsi is a luxury safari lodge on the banks of the Zambezi River, and we look after a property of 136,000 acres. It's a private concession, this site, which offers game viewing as well as time on the river. And we have 4 of the big 5 here. So elephants, buffaloes, leopard and lion. So Gio, if you want to bring on the video from Orpheus, that would be great.
Will do.
I've seen a lot of changes whereby these animals being seen in big herds, like what we can see now. They seem to be very comfortable because we have actually multiplied the number of water sources. We do have big populations of buffaloes, elephants, lions and leopards. Apart from the big 4 which I've mentioned, we're still getting animals like sable antelopes, which are so special. Highly protected species like Ronnie antelopes, some giraffes, and we see them multiplying in numbers. So yeah, there's a great change since from the time I came to this place. There is a great change for sure.
Sarah, can you just let people know, like, the Vic Falls, how far it is from you, and the fact that you can do it like for a morning or an afternoon activity as well?
Yeah, it's only 40 minutes away, so it's very possible to do it as a morning, like a half-day day trip, or a full-day day trip. And in the falls, there's the helicopter. We actually have an amazing offer that is 4-night stay, and you get a complimentary helicopter experience, which is a pickup on property. We have a private airstrip and a private helipad. So it's a pickup here on property, a flight down the Zambezi River, over the falls, and landing in town to then do your guided walking tour of the falls, which is pretty spectacular. So it's very easy access to the falls. Our property is ideal for guests who want to be away from the hustle and bustle. And it's very peaceful and very tranquil here on the river. And 18 suites set up as two camps, so 9 suites in each. And we also have a 4-bedroom private villa. So there's a variety of different options. 2 of our suites are family suites. We had questions last time, Siobhan, on family travel. We do welcome children of all ages, but we're also set up for honeymooners or multi-gen family travel.
And just the other thing as well is for anyone, when I was there, I did a COVID test at Matetsi. So they actually came, they did it. The woman was sweetness and light. I didn't even notice she'd done it. It was so like no pain whatsoever, because I was then flying on to South Africa. So, you know, it's very easy, very flexible, very amenable, making sure that, you know, every single need that you have is satisfied. And the other thing is the food is amazing.
Thank you, Siobhan. We take great pride in our food. We have an amazing team.
And do we get Jono back again? Is he contactable?
I don't see him here. So should we go on to the next, and we'll come back as soon as he joins, because we'll use that sunlight that's still there.
Yeah, that would be great. If he gets back in, it'd be great to do a spotlight on him.
Great.
Thanks.
The cost of that COVID test, just I see the question coming up, $70. And I got the results. They also do it in the airport on arrival, and you get the results within 2 hours. So should someone not be able to get a test before you arrive into Vic Falls, you can get it done at the airport, or you can get it done in the properties. So we're going on to Somalisa now, Giovanna, are we?
Yeah, we'll go to Christine, and she's just going to talk to us a little bit, and then I've got a little video. You're showing us 2 properties, is it, Christine? You can just let us know.
That's right. Thanks, Gio. I've just also got a little presentation that just needs to run whilst I'm talking, if that's all right.
Yeah, perfect. I'll get that ready. Just give me 2 seconds.
But excellent, and such a great turnout, which is delightful to see what interest there really is in Zimbabwe. So thank you very much to everybody for taking the time to join us today.
I know, 160-ish. So we've got almost 400 registered. So a lot of people look for the recordings afterwards, and we'll be sending them all out.
There we are. So, sorry, I think we cut you off there, Siobhan. But yeah, just for anybody that doesn't know, I'm part of the African Bush Camps team. So I'm going to do a little run through on just a couple of the areas that we include in our portfolio. But I thought just before doing that, for those of you that aren't familiar with African Bush Camp, it's probably just a good idea to quickly let you know what we're all about. We are much more than just a safari operation. We were set up by Bex and Ndlovu, who is the gentleman you can see on the right-hand side there. He's a pro guide, grew up in Zimbabwe, and he's really committed to the idea that conservation and tourism go hand in hand with one another. That's the only way that you can deliver it sustainably. And so we really, as a company, see our purpose as sharing and conserving Africa together with the guests who come and stay with us, with our colleagues, and of course that wider community within the areas where we operate. Next slide, Gio. Now you might be wondering how that relates to your guest and kind of the experience that will play out for them. And so there are a few little elements that I'd just like to highlight here. One of them, of course, is the guide experience that they will have with us. We truly believe that you have to have a passionate guide leading you on that safari experience, because that is what brings it all to life. So guiding is obviously a very key part of the whole African Bush Camps experience. And next slide, please. As is the area that we operate in, we really believe that, you know, to deliver that kind of authentic experience, one has to do it in pristine environments. And so we try and keep our footprint as light as possible in these areas to ensure that these areas are protected and the natural resources that are there are conserved for future generations. Next slide. And we've obviously just touched on this quite a bit. Families are a key aspect of that. And at African Bush Camps, we really believe that the youngsters who come and stay with us are the future custodians of our natural world. So it's a great opportunity to get families in with us. You know, they learn so much about conservation, get so excited about it. And I think that is how we're going to ensure that these natural places remain protected in future generations. Next slide, please. So all of that comes together to deliver revenue, which we put through our African Bush Camps Foundation, and that goes back into the local communities through conservation work. So our African Bush Camps Foundation focuses primarily on supporting communities in these areas, essentially through three kind of pillars, if I can call it that. Community empowerment through income generation projects. Education is obviously vital to these rural communities. And then, of course, we try and get involved in projects that mitigate human-wildlife conflict to ensure that conservation is maintained in all these areas that we operate. But if we could go to the next slide now, I think this gives you a really great overview of where African Bush Camps operates in Zimbabwe. I'm going to take a few minutes just to highlight our conservancy down in Vayeni National Park. So we'll talk about a couple of our camps in that area. And then we're actually going to jump over to Lake Kariba, where we'll go to Vayeni Hills, and we actually have somebody live in camp at the moment. So I'll just kind of give you a nice flavor of those two areas, which obviously work fantastically well as an all-round kind of experience that you could incorporate into Zimbabwe. Next slide, Gio, thanks. So Somalisa, as I say, private concession within Vayeni National Park. This is actually the heart for us at African Bush Camps, because it was our very first camp that we built as a company, and so will always hold a special place to us. Next slide, and you'll see that it really is in the thick of it when it comes to wildlife. We're very fortunate the position that we have. The area here has got a real high mineral content in the soil, and there's plenty of water with these water holes that Luke alluded to. So we get a really fantastic game viewing experience throughout the year, and guests staying with us can enjoy both game drives and walking safaris. Next slide, please. And then in terms of accommodation here, we've got a lovely camp with 7 tents, each of them with wood burning stoves and all the luxuries you'd expect, ensuite showers and copper baths, as you can see there. Next slide. And then, of course, you know, the safari experience is not just about the wildlife experience. It's the experience that you get to have in camp with the fellow travelers. And we really do pride ourselves on creating that experience and making it as special as possible for our guests. Next slide, thanks. Now, right next door to Somalisa camp, we have a secondary camp called Somalisa Acacia, and this is specifically geared towards our family market. At this camp, there is no age limit in terms of restricting the ages of kids that come and stay with us. We really want to embrace that family who come and stay on safari. Next slide. So when it comes to activities here, kids of all ages will go on game drives with their parents. And we also have this lovely little tailored kind of program that we run with our youngsters called the Iguana Club. And that is geared around kind of exciting youngsters about the natural environment they're in, and all the activities that they do just kind of really get them enthralled in what they're doing. So it's a lovely option if you do have families who want to come out on safari. This is such a great place to do that. That's it from the slide presentation. I don't know if we're going to jump straight to Boomy Hills, Gio, or if you want to do the video first. I'm guessing maybe.
Will we try to contact Tracy?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Tracy.
Hi. So let me take you outside to this absolutely amazing view, which is just exquisite. I'm walking now from the main house, the main reception area. Sun's about to go down. They're lighting all the lanterns, and look at this beautiful infinity pool that juts out over Lake Kariba. I'm showing you now, that is the main dining area up top. Just absolutely stunning. We had tremendous thunderstorms this morning. Over there is a spa area, massage opportunities. Unfortunately, I can't take you any further because I guess my Wi-Fi doesn't get out there. But just imagine waking up to this view every morning.
That's amazing. And we have a short little video here that we can show of the property. So thanks very much, Tracy. That's
Thanks,
really
Tracy. So yes, thank you, Gio. I think this next video will really help kind of take that further. So let's have a look at that. I am going to talk over it. I think it personally really complements me somewhere like Somalisa. Here, the focal point is very much on the lake, but it's also complemented by fantastic safari experiences on the ground as well. So our guests will be able to do walks, they'll be able to do game drives, but they get to go out on boating safaris. You cannot swim in this lake, let me just put that out there. But it is somewhere that you will be able to kind of have that water-based safari experience. But also, as Tracy alluded to, there is a spa there. So there's the ability to do things at a more leisurely pace. And I think that really, really works well for us because guests can come here, kind of do the safari experience, but do it at a slower pace, enjoy a little bit more relaxation and rest time, and then maybe carry on to another area as well. In terms of accommodation here, we've got 10 lake-facing rooms, and we also have a family villa as well. So ideal for those that are looking for a bit more privacy and space as well. But as you can see, just such a fantastic destination. And with those views, it's obviously a great place just to spend a few days, kind of taking it a little bit slower and then winding a bit as you travel around Zimbabwe. And that, I think, brings me briefly to the end of my time.
great. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So the next property, G, we're going over is to Amalinda, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, and we have two videos there first. One of them, you're going to see the warmth of the people, like from the kids in the street, etc. So you're going to meet two very smart young ladies, and then also some children who were delighted that I was visiting the Matopas. And we're going to show those two videos now, Gio.
Yes, let me get them here for you. Oh no, no sound. Hold on.
You have to visit in Matetsi National Park in Zimbabwe.
Yay! Thank you. Good morning.
What? Good morning.
Good morning.
You're amazing. You're so clever and you're so young. And you're such posers. Look at the way the boat's standing.
So that was on when I was in the area of Amalinda. So you're going to go over to that wonderful property now, but it has so much to offer. I went trekking rhinos, the cave paintings, the matopas themselves. It's just a fantastic area. A lot of village and tribal experiences there as well. And one of the places we went to was there's a competition for the sort of the prettiest house. So we went to a recent winner of that. So Gio, over to Amalinda and Sharon.
Hi, everybody. Gio, I think maybe I'll introduce myself before we carry on with the videos. Siobhan, great to see you again, and thank you for having us here. And to everybody else who is on the webinar tonight, you're so welcome. It's fantastic to be able to showcase Zimbabwe to you. I'm talking to you from my home in Bulawayo because our Wi-Fi capabilities in camp at Amalinda are a little bit unsupportive of a video of this caliber. So firstly, I'm Sharon Stead. I'm co-owner and co-founder of Amalinda Safari Collection. We started 30 years ago, so Amalinda is probably one of the oldest properties left, well, that first came into as a safari operation 30 years ago. So we're up there with the oldest, but the oldest and beautifulest, not the oldest and ugliest. I say that because my dad always used to say that this is my youngest and ugliest, and he would be referring to me as opposed to my sister. So yeah, Amalinda is out there in the beautiful Matoba Hills. We also have 2 lodges in Wangi, but I'm not here to talk about them, but they are Ivory Lodge and Kula Bush Camp. But today I want to show you, and if you have been on the previous webinar, then you would have seen a little bit of the lounge area, but today I want to show you our 3 suites. So I'll start off with one of our suites, and Gio, if you can just show the first video and then we can just showcase that one. Thanks.
Yes, ready to go.
Welcome back to Amalinda Lodge. Today I'm going to show you the 3 suites that we have on show. This one here is our Sand Bushman suite, so come and have a look. It's called the Sand Bushman suite because we have our very own Bushman painting right here. We try not to touch too much of it because it's an authentic painting, and it's been there for absolute decades. So this is quite an amazing room. As you can see, there's massive structure of rock inside here. As we go towards the bathroom area here, you can see we've incorporated a lot of the roof, the trees inside here, and the rocks to make you really feel like you are a bushman living in a cave-like dwelling. We've tried to lift it up with a little bit of the bright brass and copper in the bathroom, and then of course our loo with the view, which is one of the features of this room. And then you can go and have a look in here, which is our little shower. And excuse it, Max is in the photograph as well, so he's always with us. So that's the Sand Bushman, everybody. It's a great room, steeped in history as well, and it's one of my favorites. Okay, so Amalinda has 9 rooms, although you'll hear that I talk about 10. Room number 10, but we actually only have 9. We call them all suites because they all have that space, the lounge area, but these are the actual honeymoon suites. So that Sand Bushman is one of the higher up rooms, and I think it's important to know that if you do have agility problems, then you need to request some of the rooms that are a little bit lower down, because there are some steps to get right up high amongst the hilltop. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Thanks, Gio. Okay, sit right up here in the canopy of these trees, right up in the hills, is our Rhodes Suite. And connecting our Rhodes Suite to this beautiful viewing sala is this really fun swing bridge that you can go and spend some time out there. So Rhodes Suite is a celebration of his era in his timeline here in the Matoba Hills. And so we've taken several bits of artifacts from things like this that comes from his railway line, so the railway carriages. Lots of history in this room. So come inside. You can see we haven't really done it up for you today in professional lighting, but you can see there's still lichens and everything on the rocks. The big canopy of a master bed, and old world pieces and artifacts from his sort of era, as you can see depicted in these pictures here. Each of our suites have the mini bars, the Nespresso machines, and of course the his and hers showers as well. You can see this magnificent rock piece. It's a whole bedrock here. We had great fun designing this room. It was one of the last rooms that we actually designed.
Oops, you're muted, Sharon.
Thank you. So that's what we call the Rhodes Suite. Like I said, we had great fun designing that. It just got that beautiful swing bridge that links you up to a viewing sala, and you can spend as much time as you like out there in your privacy. I want to say again, and to reiterate what Luke was saying earlier, is that long stays are definitely the way forward now, especially that we're in this COVID era or post-COVID, and getting to know and spending time in that room or in your lodge, getting to know the people, getting to understand which wildlife comes to the water holes all the time, and then going out and tracking that wildlife. Say you're tracking a lion, for example, and then you always miss it, because the day you leave is the day you actually find that lion or that animal that you've been searching for. So definitely long stays are something of the future, and certainly for COVID era times. So just on that note, I'll go one more to the last video, which is of our Lobengula. So just trying to adjust here the outside shower of Lobengula Suite. This was so much fun doing this room. We have indoor and outdoor showers in this room. But again, this room has massive significance to history and the culture. Underneath here, it's starting to rain. Underneath here we have an ancient grain bin where the Sand Bushmen would capture and put all their grain inside the hunter-gatherers to hide it away from the marauding sort of other tribes that would come through here. We have an inside shower here, again with Lobengula and being the king of that era, we've tried to bring in a more rural feel by having these sort of like sticks, like you're living in a kraal area with Lobengula in his kraal. It has an immense sensation of this room. There's a lot of feel of history, particularly from this room. A lot of people have said that they find it extremely peaceful here as well. And of course, when you're coming out here, it's a bit like a monkey's wedding, but come and join me out in the rain. We celebrate rain here in Matetsi land. And how beautiful are these beautiful rainbows right here. And this is the magnificence, the true magnificence of the Matoba Hills. Woo.
Sharon, I was just saying as well, there's a lovely pool there. You have a fantastic infinity pool, and you've also got that beautiful area for the sundowners behind the lodge.
Yeah, so I don't know how much time I was able to cover. So I was hoping that the next time we do this, I can showcase the pool. But the infinity pool was one of the first infinity pools built in Zimbabwe. And it is beautiful. It's got a natural rock base, completely natural. All we've done is just like walled it up at the end. And so it's all different gradients. You can, walk in the shallows, and then of course where it's a lot more deeper. And that's a little bit situated a little bit further away from camp, so you can, have kids there that can be playing in the pool. It's also a great area for weddings. It's a great entertainment area as well. So for, if you're having multi-generational travel, and we only take 18 people, so if you're taking over the whole camp, it's great to have lunches and dinners down there, and we serve lunch by the pool as well. But that last room that we showed you, the Lobengula suite, back in 1999, we actually had Hugh Hefner's Playgirls on Safari, the Playmates on Safari that came out. And the main photographer of those that shoot, he went into that room and he said, "This is the most amazing fantasy room I've ever seen in my life." I don't know what a fantasy room is. I'll leave that to you guys to think about, but it does have such an incredible feeling, each of those rooms, and each one is different. So those are just 3 that I can show you, but every single room, Siobhan, are different. So it's great to be able to see each one as well.
Fantastic. Thanks a million, Sharon. So Gio, we're going to go over to Chilo, but before that, I think the other thing that people have to realize is when you look at these properties, they're all so different, which shows you the depth of product that's available. But we're going to go and show a small video now just about rhino tracking that I did when I was staying in Amalinda in November.
So here we are, there's 4 of them. There's 2 that you can see, and there's another one to the right.
That small one is the one which lost its baby 3 weeks ago.
So the smaller one lost its mother its baby through someone poaching. Its mother. So it lost its mother. Okay.
Yeah, you can go and scan over there.
Is it safe?
Yeah.
So
you can look at the rhino, yeah.
3 rhinos, hopefully. And then there's another one over there somewhere. And we're very lucky to have this opportunity.
Yeah, point at them. Point at them.
Over here.
Fantastic.
And 3 rhinos. That one lost its mother. And another one lost its little baby. And then we have another one over there somewhere. But this is something that you can do when you go to the Matopas. And just...
Don't worry, you're safe.
Just check. When you go to the Matopas in Zimbabwe. So it's a wonderful opportunity, a brilliant start or an end to a safari in Zimbabwe, because it's more relaxing, there's things to do. We've been out in the bush all day, the Matopas, for 12 hours at this stage, hence I'm greasy and smelly probably and dirty. And there's lots of things to do with the hiking, with the caves, with these wonderful rhinos behind me who hopefully are behaving. The rangers are whistling to them.
So you get the idea. But it was a wonderful experience. And like people always talk about rhino trekking in Kenya and South Africa, but it's very much an activity that's really enjoyable in Zimbabwe as well. So over to our last property, Jill.
Yes, we've got Chilo Gorge. There we are. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself, Shirley?
Yeah, can you hear me and see me?
We can, and just a little bit of sunlight there, so that's perfect. Just in time.
Great. So, okay, super. What I'm probably going to do, my internet is really bad where I live in the bush. So if Gio can possibly start with the video, and then if you can move across to Luke, just because we're concerned that I'm not going to be able to present anything because my internet is so bad here.
Yes, no worry.
But thanks everybody. Great, thank you. Okay, Luke, are you happy to take over? Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, so just tell you a little bit about Chilo Gorge Safari Lodge. Look, it is an absolutely magnificent property on the edge of the Savi River. So I'll just share my screen again just to show you where it is. Let me just move this out the way. So you can see it's in this bottom part of the country here, bottom southeastern part, on the border of Gorge, which is the park I spoke about at the beginning, and is absolute personal favorite of mine. So Chilo Gorge is perched on the bank of this river. This is the Savi River, which borders the edge of Gorge. And they're on their own private wildlife area. Chilo is a shared partnership between private owners and the community of Vayeni, which is a very distinctive community because they are the Shangaan people, and the Shangaan people have preserved a huge part of their natural traditions. They're also very much into conservation of nature. One of the owners of Chilo Gorge Safari Lodge is a recipient of the Tusk Award from Prince William for his contribution to conservation. His name is Clive Stockill. Clive is the most interesting guy to spend time with, and he's often resident in camp and a wonderful guy to speak with. I'll just use the photos, some of the photos which are available here on Google, because it can give you a bit of an idea of the lodge. You know, Chilo itself is split into a few different properties, but there are 10 suites in the main lodge. And then there's also a fly camp, tented camp, that is, it's only available depending on the season. So in the rainy season, you can't do it, but in the dry season, which is running from April through to October, November, that's when you can do the fly camp. And the fly camp also with Chilo does give you an opportunity to do walking safaris inside the park. Although even if you're staying at the main lodge, you can cross this river either by boat or by vehicle, and depending on the season, and then do game drives inside the park. So this is obviously a view over the Savi River, like I was saying. This is the dining deck, and that's Gorge National Park on the other side. So we were looking out in this picture, and it looks pretty tranquil and placid, the waters, but actually just upstream from there, there are some rapids. So it's quite contrasting. There's a little bit of a gorge with rocks, and so you get this very contrasting landscape. Some of the game in Gorge National Park is absolutely amazing. Gorge itself means the home of elephants, or the place of elephants. In Zo, in local language, means elephant. So you can expect to see loads and loads of elephants there, but also healthy concentrations of wild dog, lion, leopard. There are rhino in the area as well. And I mean, you can come and take time and go through all these pictures, but this just gives you a little bit of a view as to what the area looks like. Anyway, as I say, Gorge is a personal favorite, and takeaways from Chilo Gorge, very, very comfortable luxury lodge with sweeping, beautiful views, a strong community focus with the Shangaan people, and incredible wildlife right on the doorstep. The beauty with Gorge is that you are really almost in a white spot on the map. It's not a place that is frequented by huge volumes of tourists, And so you can expect to have a very exclusive experience, but don't expect that you're not going to see wildlife as a result. You're going to see plenty of wildlife. So if you can get there, the only challenge sometimes is it can be a little bit more logistics involved to get there, because it is down in the corner of the country. But once you get there, the rewards totally outweigh whatever pain there was to get there. So that's Gonorrhea and Chilo in a nutshell.
That's fantastic. Thanks a million. Gio, I just remember the Vic Falls Hotel. We didn't go to them.
Yes, Judith is here and I've got a video.
Hi, Siobhan.
Hi, how are you? Last but not least.
Hi, do you mind maybe showing me first? I wanted to show you a picture of the bridge that we have just before the sun really sets.
Brilliant.
And then you can show the video while I'm walking back to the suite. Can you see me on the video?
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
We can see it. Yes, we can see the mushy coming up.
Ah, lovely, guys. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in and welcome to the Victoria Falls Hotel. This is where it all ends, hey?
So that's the spray from the falls that we can see.
This is the spray from the falls, my dear. You just missed the monkeys. Back your homes just now, coming up to this is what you get when you're having high tea. This is what you get when you're having dinner right now at 7 o'clock in the evening.
Well, we just have
But yes, just imagine the
favorite hotel in the world.
Yes, I am glad. So yeah, guys, welcome. This is our flagpole. And on our flagpole, you can actually see where we've written Cape to Cairo. It tells you the miles that there is. This is a very important site within the Victoria Falls Hotel, where we actually was one of the first sites that was actually inaugurated when they actually built the hotel in 1904. So it actually tells you the miles to Cairo, the miles to Cape Town. All right, there you are. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna walk to the suite and then you can play the video in the meanwhile.
Perfect, I've got it ready, thanks.
I'm back on my laptop. Hi.
We can.
Now we can
Can you
see.
still see me?
Yes.
Welcome, thank you. So this is one of our main suites. I hope you can see behind me. Is it clear enough?
We can see the television reflected.
Voila, that's your television that is right installed inside the mirror. That is true. And all of our suites actually have a lounge.
Okay, we've lost you there. Sorry, I don't understand.
Right, there we go. So you've got a beautiful lounge, elegant as you can see, very homey, very comfy for the family, with all of your amenities actually inside of the room as well. I'm going to take you. I will lift this up very gently. We're going to do a walkthrough. So these are some of the seats that we have in the lounge for your added comfort. You've got the cushions there, lovely color, with a grand entrance into the main bedroom. You can see that all of our bed posts are actually taken care of, handcrafted. As we walk through, you've got your desk here with the signature made glass, as well as the table, your dressing mirror here as well. So we really do take care to note that when someone does come, they really want to feel that they're actually at home. As usual, you can actually see all of these here. Your amenities, you've got your safe here, you've got your slippers, you've got your towels, you've got your bags and your laundry bags. That is all for the guest comfort as well. This is a little place for the wardrobe that we've put in. And as we walk through, come back here, we've got the bathroom. Just the elegance of it, usually quite themed. This one has got a green minty theme. You've got the luxury tub with you there. And then you've got the big rainfall shower right at the end, as well as your sinks over there, his and her sinks. All right, I'm gonna take you back. And as you walk back, it's an open one. It takes you back to the lounge, where one can actually just sit after dinner. One can actually just relax. You can watch TV, or you can make yourself some tea and coffee. Or you can actually just sit and read a book from one of our libraries. But yes, this is mostly Victoria Falls Hotel. So we are the only 5-star hotel that is in Victoria Falls, and we usually just cater for people who want to come and have the Victoria Falls experience, but still just have that luxury as well of being at home and just that comfort. So that is where we come in. And we're so glad to have everyone tuning in, and we hope that you make a choice to come here.
That's fantastic. Thanks a million, Judith. Also, you can, it's a stopover, well, it's a stop for the Rovers Rail as well, isn't it?
Oh, yes, actually. But ever since we started, we've been under lockdown. That has been stopped for a while at the moment. So we do not have the Rovers coming in, but usually it used to be a stop for the Rovers as well. So we'll see how it plans out as we go on through the year.
No doubt that that'll be back. So thanks a million. So thank you to all our presenters. If any of the attendees wanted to ask any questions, please do. If you want to unmute your mics and ask any of the presenters questions. So we're delighted that you all came to the presentation on Zimbabwe, because we really do feel that it's an unknown and underappreciated destination in Africa. So hopefully you can encourage your clients to put it as one of on their bucket list for the year to come. Would any of the presenters like to add anything?
There's a question that just came in about golfing. So in Zimbabwe, we're pretty proud because we've had quite a number of top golfers coming out of here. Most famous one was Nick Price, who was world #1 for a number of months. But we have Royal Harare Golf Course in Harare, which is a very, very prestigious course. We have the Leopard Rock Golf Course in the Eastern Highlands in Vumba, which was designed by Peter Matkovich. Beautiful course with amazing views, set on a mountainside. Quite a challenging course. You don't want to go off the fairway there. You definitely lose your ball. And then in the other really iconic course is here in Victoria Falls, and that's called Elephant Hills. The beauty with that course is you are playing in amongst wildlife. So you've got waterbuck, zebra, impala, and even the odd leopard cruising around on the fairways whilst you're playing. Very, very special to have that. And then there's
someone there has just mentioned Devil Pool on the Zambian side. So do you want to say, well, it's on the Zambian side, so do you want to say a few words about that as well?
Yeah, so Devil's Pool is easily accessed from both Zambia and on a trip across the border from Zimbabwe. It takes obviously a little bit longer to get there from Zimbabwe, but yeah, if you are coming from the Zimbabwean side and you've got a uni visa in your passport, then it's very easy to cross the bridge onto the Zambian side, and then literally a kilometer up the road, there's a meeting point, and you catch a speedboat, which is less than 5 minutes across to an island, which is sort of situated in the middle of the falls. You jump off on this island, and you get a briefing, and then you make your way across to Devil's Pool. Devil's Pool is situated literally right on the edge of the falls. So there are a number of safety precautions that need to be taken, but the guides are extremely good. You spend about 10 to 15 minutes in the pool itself. It is a bucket list sort of experience, but yeah, don't do it if you freak out a bit, because you are right on the edge of the falls, and you do need to be able to swim. Devil's Pool also is seasonal, so you can't access it at all times of the year, but there is a reserve pool, if you like, called Angel's Pool, which is not quite as dramatic as Devil's Pool. Jody, I referred to a visa called the uni visa. So when you land in Zimbabwe or you land in Zambia, when you arrive at the airport, most nationalities are eligible to get a uni visa. A uni visa means a single visa that allows you to be in both Zimbabwe and Zambia without having to check in and get another visa again. It costs $50. Doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you can go onto the Univisa site. It's Kaza, K-A-Z-A, Univisa, and you can go and check it out and see if what nationality is traveling, and you can see if you qualify for it.
But Luke, would it not be a good idea to get it anyway in one way, because then you can pop over to Zambia and it doesn't cost you any more, because isn't the visa to Zimbabwe $50, if not $55 at the moment?
It's definitely the best option. So, you know, even like you say, if you're going to be coming into Victoria Falls and you're traveling to Zimbabwe as a standalone, you definitely want to still get the Univisa, so that when you're in Vic Falls, you have the option to go and see Victoria Falls from the Zambian side, to go and do Devil's Pool, things like the Elephant Cafe on that side. You know, those are sort of must-do things on the Zambian side that you can't necessarily do on the Zimbabwean side.
And I think the Devil's Pool, I did it when I was in Zambia, but I think it's the type of thing you did once, but you mightn't necessarily do a second time. Like tick box.
Yeah, it depends how much adrenaline you want. It's a bit like jumping off the bridge with a bungee cord attached, or doing a gorge swing. You kind of, you know, I'm sort of the person who just does that once.
And also micro lighting, they still do that, don't they? Or over the falls, like when you're open, yeah.
That's right, micro lighting and helicopter excursions over the falls, 13 minutes or 25 minutes. The 25-minute helicopter trip includes going over the gorge below the falls as well as over the national park. And then if you're heading out to Matetsi to stay, one of the best ways to go there is, you know, as you land in Victoria Falls, jump in the helicopter and fly out over the falls and then upstream along the Zambezi and then land at Matetsi. It's pretty special.
Yeah, fantastic. So I think everyone understands the passion that we all have for Zimbabwe.
There's a quick question about backpacker info. So Victoria Falls actually largely started out in, I mean, aside from the Grand Old Lady, Victoria Falls, which has been around for such a long time and is such an iconic 5-star property, Victoria Falls did start out as primarily an adventure low budget destination. And so there's still loads of options for the backpacker and for the adventure traveler, but equally now some amazing options for the luxury traveler as well, and mid-range traveler. Victoria Falls has got it all. And yes, high tea at the Victoria Falls Hotel. Well, we did that with our kids on Christmas Day. We absolutely, it's a must do in Vic Falls. You know, they make the most incredible high tea. I think probably the best high tea you can have outside England. And yeah, another place to go to, which we showcased in the last presentation or the last webinar, is the Lookout Cafe right on the edge of the gorge. You literally perch there. You can watch people doing bungee jumps and gorge swings and things like that. And you hear the roar of the rapids below you. Don't forget those rapids. That's the, they're commercially rafted. You can do anywhere from a half-day trip to a 5-day trip. Whitewater, the biggest commercially rafted water in the world, comparable to Colorado and some of the Uganda, well, the Nile in Uganda, but massive whitewater, grade 5 and grade 4 rapids. So if you're into your adrenaline, there's plenty to do in Vic Falls, that's for sure.
We were just talking yesterday about we're going to start the African Chronicles, which is more different. It's not webinars, it's more chats with people who live in a certain destination. And we were going to start off talking about Zimbabwe and also about the Jewish community there and history, etc. So that'll be one of our first chronicles for Africa. So we're looking forward to that as well. So we'll be doing it probably at the end of February. So Gio, what do you think now? Should we say goodbye? It's time to let these people go and enjoy their weekend.
Coming to an end. It was a lovely presentation. Thank you very much for all the presenters. It was really great seeing some of you again and some new ones. So it was really amazing. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks to Luke, Suzanne, and the presenters. And also just for me to thank Gio on our side and Rachel and Jamie for doing the spotlight and the admissions, etc. So thank you very much for joining us. And next week, we'll be meeting the owners of exclusive use properties. We're going to be meeting the owners of Candacraig, of Blair Estate, and of Turin Castle. So that's Yvonne, Lynn, and Sally. And it'll be a chronicle, which means it'll be a shorter, less presentations, more chat. And we just have 3 people on with us. So we're looking forward to that next Wednesday. It'll be at the normal time of 12 noon. Eastern Standard Time. We did the African ones an hour earlier to try and get in a bit of those fantastic sunsets and the fantastic scenery. So thank you very much to everyone for joining us. Take care and see you all next week, hopefully.